Hi, I'm Tameeka Dawson, and I'm 46 years old, and right now I'm currently a resident of PUC shelter. I was one of them people when you was younger, you tell your kids, I can't wait till I turn 18 to move out. When my daughter was 2 years old, I moved to Maryland, and we was out there for like a good 10, 12 years. I came back to Philly when my mom got sick. She's not my biological mom, but she's my mother because she raised me. So when she got sick, I came back home. When she passed away, I just stayed. 90% of my family is here. The rest of them, they like down south. I have 7 kids, 5 living. 2 of them live in Maryland. The other ones live here. I'm a family person. My oldest, she'll be 30 this year. Then I have my daughter that live in Maryland. She just turned 24 on the 8th. I have a 20-year-old. I have a 16-year-old. I have a 14-year-old. And the 2 that passed away would have been 29 and 19. My daughter, she passed away in 1992 when I was 6 months pregnant with her. And my son, he passed away in 2009. He was 4 months. The one thing I didn't do is blame God. It wasn't no why questions. It was, for me, it was your will be done. Like, I was thankful for the 4 months that he blessed me with him. He was a happy baby. You wouldn't even know that he was sick because he was born sick. But you would have never known because he was always smiling. He was very happy. He was the light of my life. In spite of all the doctor appointments, they was wonderful months. Yes, they was. My faith in God, my family, the love of my other children. My kids are my strength. Anything that I go through, it's always God and my children. It gets me through everything. Like, when I fall, I don't look at it as a failure. I look at it as a lesson learned and what not to do in the future, what not to do in my present, what not to do to get into that road or that situation again. I look at all my situations, bad or good, and especially the bad ones, as exactly that, opportunities of learning. I look at them as blessings. They may be bad situations, but they're still blessings because it's making way for good and great things. I would say this situation is the biggest challenge that I've ever had to deal with because with death, I'm so used to it, and it's sad to say that, but once again, it brings me back to my faith. Like, when I lose people, of course it hurts. It's going to hurt. And that saying, time heals all wounds, is a lie. God heals wounds. Time doesn't heal all wounds because I still hurt even to this day about my son and my daughter, about my mom, about everybody that I have lost. I still hurt, but I know they in a better place. They doing better than I am right now, and that's the way I look at it. We had got a house, cause for years I've been living from couch to couch, not having my own. And when I finally got my own, my mom was my backbone. Like, she, even as an adult, she still was teaching me stuff. So when she passed, it was like I temporarily lost sight of everything. And so when I got my housing, I didn't do things correctly, and I know that. You know, instead of paying my rent first, I would pay my bills first, and then sometimes I wouldn't pay my bills, or I would send in half my rent, and it had got to the point that I got backed up on my rent. So, but the landlord was good. I liked the landlord that I had because he worked with me. You know, we went to court, we came up with a payment plan where I would get him the rest of the rent money by a certain date. And I was making moves for it to happen. You know, I was going to different agencies. I got approved. But the thing was, by the time they was going to be able to send the check out to him, it was after the date. So we had to leave. It wasn't on like bad terms, like you got to get out, you missed your date and stuff like that. He did give me a couple of days after the date that I missed to get into a shelter. Mm-hmm. So I'm thankful for that, and I know my mistakes, and I know what I did. I know what not to do when we get into this apartment, because it passed inspection, so I'm ready to go. I'm ready to start our new life, new adventures, new beginnings. You know, me and my daughter, it's about me and her. I know now, keep my savings, don't touch my savings. When I put money in my savings, don't touch it. So when this program is over and I remain a good tenant, because I'll be able to afford my rent, because even after the program, I'm only paying 30% of my rent. So at the end of the year, when that's up with, I also have money in the bank. So when we do decide to continue staying there, I'll still be able to pay my rent. And I won't be back in the same, me and my daughter will not be back in the same situation that we in. I refuse to put her in this situation again. That's my baby. I'm proud of myself too, because I've actually come a long way from my childhood. I still reflect on things that my great aunt used to tell me when I was a kid, because I'm not going to say I was bad, but I was on the wrong path, the wrong thing. Like, it was me against the world. Like, nobody cared about me and stuff like that. And she told me that I will never forget this statement. If you keep going the way you're going, you are not going to make it to your 16th birthday. By the time I turned 18, my aunt, she had passed. And on my 18th birthday, I just looked up and was like, I made it. I made it. Your words stuck with me, and I made it. And I say to myself, I tell myself all the time, if it wasn't for her words, I wouldn't have made it to my 16th birthday. That statement scared me. And I'm thankful for that. I feel like my life is an open book. Like, I don't hide any day. People know how I am when I'm happy. They know how I am when I'm mad. You don't have to be related to me to know the type of person I am. When I come in contact with people, I'm like, I feel as though I'm a friendly person. I'm the most nicest person that anybody can meet. Like, any job that I work at, everybody loves me. I'm a manager. They're like, you my favorite manager, da, da, da. And that makes me feel good. They just don't know it makes me feel good. I be joking around. I'm like, oh, shut up. Y'all just saying that because I'm here. But it really do be making me feel good, because I feel as though I be having an impact on people, and I don't know what the impact is, but obviously it's something. So I love the fact that when I interact with people, it's a good vibes. It's good vibes. It's not negative, and I know when to walk away from negative situations. If I feel a bad vibe from you, our conversation won't be but so long. And I like that, but I like the fact that I can identify that. When I was younger, being a kid, you just let peer pressure and everything get to you. And I really didn't have control of my life when I was a kid. My parents didn't have control of my life. Like, the streets had control of my life. So I was blinded. I had blinders on, and I know that. But as I grew older and started realizing that I had to take care of me, and it really was, at the time, me against the world, I started seeing things and seeing people for who they are. Like, no, you're a user. You're not even going to be a part of my life for long. Like, and if somebody is a part of my life, like, and I know there's people out there that sheep's and wolves clothing. It'll take me a minute. You'll give me them good vibes. We have good conversation. We even become friends. But once I get that knock against my head, it's over. That saying, actions speak louder than words, is so true. No matter what your religion is, no matter what your faith is, don't let nothing or no one take you away from you. Keep your faith. Because if you lose yourself in your situation, like, and what I mean by lose yourself in your situation is if you keep downing yourself, because you are your worst enemy when you're in the shelter. You are your worst enemy. It's not the people in the shelter. It's not the staff. It's not your worker. It's you. That's your worst enemy in a shelter. If you, like me, I didn't constantly blame myself for the situation, for being in the shelter. I know I'm the reason that we're in the shelter, but I didn't constantly blame myself because I know what I did. It's time to move on, fix it, know what you need to do, and keep your faith. Faith is that's what I hold on to. And I'm gonna be honest, that's what got me and my daughter through this shelter situation, is my faith. Because I know if I lost faith in God, I would be comfortable here. I wouldn't push. I wouldn't even try to make it better. I would constantly blame myself, like, you dummy, you did this. This is your fault. Look what you're doing. Look what you did to your daughter. Like, that's depressing. I don't like being depressed. I'm a happy person. And depression is something I do not like being. And being in a shelter will make you depressed. First of all, you coming into a shelter, you already depressed. You come in here and you get comfortable in here and you just like, oh, well, I'm in this situation. It is what it is. You're going to make yourself even more depressed and more miserable. So my advice to anyone that comes into a shelter, go in there headstrong. Go in there with the mentality like, all right, I'm in here. What do I need to do to get out of here? Because that's the mentality I had when I came in here. As soon as I walked through this door, I'm like, all right, it's good. I gave it 2 days. I was on the internet looking for housing. I only had one job at the time. Since I've been here, I got 2 jobs now. So it can happen. People say it don't happen. It can happen. I'm a walking testimony of it. It can happen. The 3 things I think most about, no matter who it is, I'm thinking about one of my family members, and that's every single day. I can't even say sometimes. It's every day I'm thinking about, is this person okay? How they doing? Like, is they struggling? You know, is anybody going to say, because being in a shelter, I can't go visit my family like I used to. So that's a lot for number one. But I will say money. Money is too. I do think about money every day. And my health. Never think about my health every day. At the moment, I ain't got no choice but to think about my health every day because I'm walking around with a boot on my foot. And I got tennis elbow on both my arms. But I'm still here. I'm still blessed. That's what matters to me. For my goal after getting my housing, I would love to learn how to drive and to get a car. Save me a whole lot of money from SEPTA. No, but seriously, it'll help me get around. I'll be able to visit my kids more often. Because like I said earlier, I have 2 of them that live out in Maryland. And they like traveling and go to the Myrtle Beach and stuff like that. And it's hard for me because I would have to get on a Greyhound or something to meet up with them. Mm-hmm. And with a car, I'll be able to just pop up on them anytime. I'm like, hey, knock on the door, mama here, open your door. then this city is crazy. I want to, I mean, I know it's crazy everywhere, but with a car, I'll be able to take my 14-year-old to and from school anywhere that she needs to go instead of her getting on the bus and me worrying about, I mean, I worry about her walking out the door even when we together, but I will worry less if I had my own vehicle and I was the one taking her around instead of her. I wouldn't worry about her stepping off the bus and getting shot, right? Or, God forbid, anything, kidnapped or anything. That would be an extreme plus on having a car. If it was anything I could change about the world, I would say violence. And the reason why is because it's too much and it's out of control. I remember times when street fights was actually that, hands. Nowadays, it's no words being said, weapons being pulled out, and it's not even, then the thing is, it's not even about street fights, it's countries, cities, and it's not just about the guns, it's just violence, period. It's too much. We're losing too many of our young people. And it's crazy because it's breaking my heart in a way because it's the young people that's doing all the killing. Y'all taking each other out. And then if y'all have children, y'all taking your fathers and mothers away from these children. I would want to make the world a safer place for the babies. That's what I would change about the world.